Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to refill your Stampin' Seal. It's our new adhesive, and our Stampin' Seal Plus. And I'm also going to give you tips and tricks on how to use the Stampin' Seal based on my experience with the first roll of each. I'll offer my opinion of which one I like better and how to use those. And then I'm going to also see what's going on with the fast fuse, because I saw a post that these refills fit inside the fast fuse as well. So I definitely want to kind of explore that option a little bit. So let's get started. I have purchased these items. These are part of our annual catalog. And that's it. I purchased one of each of the main ones, and then I purchased 2 refills for the Seal Plus. And I purchased 1 refill for the seal. So we're just going to go ahead and change it out, start using it. And I'm going to be using it in reference to making these cards I'm working on. I'm going to be just attaching some card bases. This is from what I'm working on right now, is called the Gorgeous Posies card kit. So because I'm working on this card kit and just projects, I figured I would just use the Seal and Seal Plus just to attach some of these card bases, which is an easy application of this. All right, so we're going to just do this. This is we don't sell this fast fuse anymore, but I just want to open it up because I can, and because we're in the middle of changing out the refilling these, and I want to see. Someone said that they would fit. Now, this one still has some adhesive in it, I think, so I'm not actually going to take that out. I just want to compare it. I'm just opening that up to compare it. So these are the only 2 we offer right now. Stampin' Seal and Stampin' Seal Plus. So Stampin' Seal Plus is a lot like the fast fuse in that it's the stronger one. Hey, we have someone joining me live. Thank you. Tammy from Wyoming. I don't even announce my lives, so when you find me, I get like impressed that you just find me and come on. Thank you for joining me. All right, so Stampin' Seal is going to be the one that's not as strong, but it's worked. All right, I have another crafty friend. I have, hello, Terry. I love crafty things, hello, and Joyce. When I used this already, and it didn't make any of my cards fall apart, the Stampin' Seal. But the Stampin' Seal Plus definitely worked better on boxes. Some of my boxes I used Stampin' Seal on. I'm going to keep it real. They did come apart, and I ended up having to go back and add some glue because I couldn't add this because I was waiting to refill it live. So this is definitely 100%. I definitely agree that this is stronger, and I will offer my opinion about how to use it as well. So let's do this. Let's open up the Stampin' Seal. Okay, I'm just going to do it based on my experience. I've never actually refilled it, so it's kind of daring to do a tutorial like this, right? Because I've never actually refilled it, but I'm just doing it based on my experience of refilling loads and loads of adhesives in the past. So I like that it comes in a Ziploc bag, our refills. Keeps them fresh. And some even store their adhesive inside the Ziploc bag, because that came in a Ziploc bag. So that's nice because it keeps it from drying out, but I use mine so fast it's never going to dry out. Okay, so I'm going to hold it like this and put it. Always before you take out your adhesive, always hold it in the right direction as the one in there. So don't take out this one and then go look for your adhesive. That way, do them together so you know exactly which way it faces. So I just pull that out and I'm putting this in. Okay, that was pretty darn easy, right? That was easy. Where's the easy button? All right, and I'm just going to put the lid back on. But while we're here, let's do a comparison. Yep, they are the same. Someone said these were the same, which I'm happy about. That means the guts are the same. What does that mean? I'm not going to be able to buy any more of this fast fuse, obviously, because it's retired. But what I can do is I could take my extra refill here, stick it in this container when I run out, and that's a nice thing to have. All right, so that's good. Good for me, good for you. If you have old stuff like me, I'm going to snap that back on. Oh, I didn't hear any snapping sound. I guess there just isn't a, here we go. There is a snapping sound, so wait for that snapping sound. Okay, so let's use the seal first, and then we'll refill the Seal Plus. So the seal. I'm making the Gorgeous Posies card kit. And in the card kit, the first thing I do is try to follow the instructions, and I try to match up the cards and the way they were facing. So I've already done that, and I've sort of attached a few card bases. And I'm just going to make some more now that are not like the instructions. So we'll just combine some colors. Like we'll just make, say, this one. They put it with the, this color's Mint Macron. I'm going to go ahead and put that with the Blushing Bride. We'll do one of these. And let's see what else we can do. We'll do another one a little bit. So I'm going to use the seal. Okay, so what my impressions of the seal are is it's kind of hard to use. It's kind of tricky, I should say. Not hard to use, just tricky. But it does work effectively with cards, and none of my cards fell apart. So I just noticed that I have to do this, though. To get it going, first of all, I had to keep using my fingers a little bit to get it going. And once I got it going, see that? It's no problem. But notice what I had to do. I had to lay it pretty horizontal to get it to work right. And then here's my tip and trick. So when you do the next row, see how I did a row of adhesive? I hope you can see that. Let me put on my reading glasses and make sure my crafty friends can see that. Okay, so you see how it went on. And it was very easy to lift. There's no longer like any requirement to, in the past you had to make a check mark. And this one you can just lift right up. But what I had to do is I had to be horizontal when I use it. Because if I use it like that, it didn't work right. The other tip is, you see how I have a row of adhesive? When I do my card bases, I make a big rectangle. I'm going to grab onto this piece of adhesive. I'm grabbing onto that so you see it shiny. And then my seal will work better. See? See that? It just grabbed right on. No problems. But if you don't have anything to grab onto the first time, I'm just going to do it again. See how that goo is getting, the goo comes out and it kind of gets caught up a little. So I'm just going to grab onto that. It works very easy. See how I'm using it horizontally, and I'm grabbing onto the adhesive that was already there. And so I have no problems. The times I have problems, though, is when I don't have anything to grab onto. See? Well, that was no problem. But sometimes when I just try to use it without grabbing on anything, I have a hard time getting it started, and in which case, I just have to do that a little bit with my finger. It's no big deal. But it works very effectively, and this is a lot cheaper. I mean, so that's nice. So if you're just doing cards, you might not want to spend the extra money to get this Stampin' Seal Plus. Yeah, paper pumpkin glue. I think you're talking about the paper pumpkin glue. I don't even use those little dots that come with the paper pumpkin. I just use this kind of stuff, like the Seal Plus. I use what's called tear and tape. I have them all in the catalog marked off, so I'll show you those. So I'm just attaching that card base. And I'm going to maybe work on my table a little, maybe you can see that a little better. So that is how to use the Stampin' Seal. All right, so now we're going to refill the Stampin' Seal Plus. We'll do that one next. And then we will attach a card base. So again, should be easy peasy like the other. Squeezing it. Yep, this one was just as easy. And before, like I said, my tip is, this goes for every tool you're using, every craft tool that you ever in your life have to refill. Always like stick it in front of you like that and then refill it. Because if you take this and toss it, later on you're like, well, how in the world did that work? You know, how did it go together? So I'm opening up, I love the Ziploc bag, I'm opening it up. Keeps it from drying out. See, now I know how to put that in. And you can even see, based on this, how it works. Full, empty, because it rolls around that side when it's empty. See, so now we can just pull that one out. And it's kind of, caught up in there, so throw that over there. And we're going to put this one in. Okay. I don't hear any snapping noise, I guess, until I put the lid on. It just sits right in there. And again, it's the same. Yep, it's the same as that. That's my old fuse, retired. Pretty cool. All right, we're going to put this on. I'm trying to listen for a click. I do not really hear a clicking sound. It's together though, but I didn't hear a clicking sound. Oh, that's fine. All right, so let's use the Seal Plus. And let's get another, this again, gorgeous posies. We'll do a different one. This is a nice one. And they seem to put these, a lot of times in these card kits, they do tone on tone. Like this color is purple posy on top of purple posy. But I tend to like some contrast. That's why I put the mint macron, or it could have been soft seafoam, on top of a blushing bride. And let's see, I'm gonna put, so I just want a little bit of a contrast. So now we'll use this one. We'll put this one onto this card. See, just for some contrast. No, they're not two-sided. These are just, this is the card kit. They're one-sided. These are pretty nice though. But I want to get the coordinating color right. It was soft, well, there is mint macron and soft seafoam. So I'm thinking that's probably the soft seafoam, that color. All right, so, and there's another type of green, which would be the shaded spruce as well. Now, what I like to do when I get card kits, excuse me for shaking my camera, is they get these little, when you get a card kit, they're not like you made your own card bases. So there's these little nibs or nubs. See, the little nibs sticking out. Because when they mass produce these card kits, I guess they come off a factory line or something. And I have to just, that's just my own personal preference. I have to cut those off. Hi, Sylvia. Long time no see. Actually, because I haven't done a live in a while. Okay, see that? I'm just cutting off those little nibs. And one thing you could do is take a little nail file and sort of, you can file them off. They're just my little pet peeve. I mean, they're really not a big deal, but I want the card to make it look like a regular card base. Like, for example, here's a card base I made. Yeah, you can use sandpaper. I mean, when you make a card base with a paper trimmer, this is a whole different color. You don't have those little nibs, but it's still, and the card kits are still great because, I mean, look at this level of detail that I could never accomplish with stamping. All right, so now we're going to use Stampin' Seal to put this on. Now, what I noticed about Stampin' Seal, first let me just get it started again. And again, you sometimes have to use your finger to get it started the first time. I'm just going to keep on trying to roll it. I may have to use my finger just to get it started. All right. And like I said, I've only used this. There we go. Now, Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm on the Seal Plus now. See? I'm doing the plus. What I noticed about the plus is you can use it vertically, or actually that it works better vertically. Whereas the Stampin' Seal, I had to do it like this. This one, I seem to be able to do it vertically, and it worked fine. See that? And look how much easier it was to lift off my paper. So again, I like to always, no matter what kind of adhesive I'm using, I like to catch that little piece over there before I turn the corner, because that helps me, it helps my adhesive. It always does. And that goes for any kind of adhesive you use. So this one is going on, like I would say, smooth as silk. So I put that on four pieces, and then I'm going to put my, let's see. It doesn't really matter which way I put this, but see how they have it. The little leaf, I think they do it this way. Yeah, either way, open the card. That's a good way to put it. So here we go. And when you put on your card bases, I kind of use both hands and put it over the top. All right, so cool. Okay, now we're gonna compare them now. So again, you have card bases. It doesn't matter which one you use, right? But I made some boxes. And not even these boxes. I made this kind of box. So I was making this box, and it doesn't matter. Okay, you asked, are any of the card bases made out of heavy cardstock? No, not when you get a kit. The kits are made out of, I would call it, this is a kit. This is called the Gorgeous Posies card kit. So I would say none of our card kits have like the thickest cardstock like we would normally use on a card. Like, for example, over here, okay, this kind of card, totally different topic. I mean, this one is a whale of a time and totally different color scheme. This is a whale of a time card I'm making. This card base, this is purple, let's see, this is pool party, probably pool party. And that is whale of a time. So this is very thick cardstock because this is Stampin' Up! Cardstock, but look at it, it's dyed all the way through. See that? This is pool party, dyed all the way through. And any of our cardstock, not just Pool Party. Every single Stampin' Up! Cardstock is dyed all the way through. And it's much thicker. You can even see the thickness. Every time you get a card kit, it is not dyed all the way through. That's probably what makes it a little thinner. It's not dyed all the way through, and it's white on the inside. Doesn't make it any, I mean, it's still great quality. It's just not as thick as our regular cardstock. But that's why the kits are such a great value, because you're getting so many cards. In fact, this kit, I think 16, right? Let's see, one set. I don't remember now. I'm still just opening up this kit here. I haven't really dug deep into it. 16 cards. So that's a great deal, with these card kits. Anyway, this box, I made loads of these boxes, okay? I made loads of these with the other card kit called Simply Citrus. I just finished. I had used this because I was already out of this. So that's how I know. I mean, I was completely out of this. I was waiting to change it live on one of my videos because I actually started using it for the first time on one of my videos. And I said, let me change it live. So anyway, I was using Stampin' Seal, and I made a bunch of these boxes. And by the time I made my video, I made the boxes one day, and the next day I went to make my video, they had come apart. Okay, I'm keeping it real. My boxes had come apart with this Stampin' Seal. So then I went back and I used tear and tape, which is another type of adhesive. I don't even know where that's at. Let's not confuse you, but there's another type of adhesive. I went and used that instead because I didn't want to open this one yet. So I don't recommend this for boxes. Great for cards, not for boxes. Okay? And this kind of box. Or you can just use glue. Okay, so now let's compare the two. We'll do one more card. So we've done one with let's see. And the pizza boxes are fine. A pizza box to me is like a card. So it doesn't matter what you use. Pizza boxes, anything you want, Seal or Seal Plus. Card bases, Seal or Seal Plus. Card boxes, though, use only Seal Plus. Card boxes, because they have to hold together on the sides. Like, they have to really hold together on the sides, so you don't want to. All right, so now we're going to do one more. We'll do a purple posy card base. Cutting off those little nibs. I don't know why they annoy me so much, but yes, I use a nail file a lot of times. I just need to get to a dollar store. I need to go to a dollar store and find some purple things to put in my boxes. And then I can find a nail file too, because it's easier to do with a nail file to shape those down. So anyway, there's my purple posy, and we just did that in this one. Let's find a different card design. I mean, it looks like I did some incredibly distinctive stamping here. We've already used that one. We've used that one. We will use that one. Or this one. Well, no, this one because of contrast. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to use the one with the Blushing Bride on top of the purple posy. And now we're going to compare the two adhesives. Compare them, meaning I'm going to show you nitty gritty what the lines of adhesive look like on the back of the card. So, and just going over, kind of summing up everything I talked about, that the Stampin' Seal and how to use it. I'm going to show you the Stampin' Seal Plus and how to use it, and then compare the two lines of adhesive. Okay, so we're going to make two lines with Stampin' Seal. I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to use the Stampin' Seal. Remember, horizontally works better. It'll just keep you from getting frustrated. And the first time you try to put it on, it's not maybe going to go on, and that's okay because you didn't have anything for it to catch onto. So that's when you use your finger. Oh yeah, let's see. I'm just doing that. I know what you mean by the Stampin' Seal. Okay, here we go. See how I got a little goo on my finger? Okay, now I got it rolling. See? Once I get it rolling, no problem at all. I just had to get it rolling a little bit at the beginning with my finger, but now that it's rolling, I'm going to then do one more line with this, and I'm going to do it horizontally, catching on to that little piece of adhesive, okay? So let's look at that. And this is going to kind of explain a lot once I compare that to the Stampin' Seal Plus. Okay, so we're going to put the Stampin' Seal, we're going to put this over there so we know it's that one. Here, we're going to put that over there. Those two lines are the Stampin' Seal. Okay. Here, we're even going to do this. Just as a visual, I like visual aids. These two lines are the Stampin' Seal. Now we'll do the Stampin' Seal Plus. We'll do a little bit of, we'll put the little pink, the Blushing Bride. We'll put that on there so you know. And then I'm going to show you what the adhesive looks like close up to my camera. So I'm going to, the Stampin' Seal Plus I can use more vertically now. I can use it vertically. And look how much smoother it went on. Look how I didn't have to use my finger to get it started. Okay, and look how easy it goes on. Now, this is why. This is why. Let's put that on there so you can see why. Okay, I'm going to get closer because this explains why the one works better than the other. Okay, let me get that. Let me put the light way into my camera. Tell me if you can see these little ridges. I mean, I'm putting some really good light on this. I hope you can see there's little tiny ridges on the Stampin' Seal Plus. I mean, I hope I'm not washed out. But you see how the Stampin' Seal Plus has those tiny ridges. Can you see them? Okay, good. You can see them. There we go. I'm holding it in the light. So because the Stampin' Seal Plus, this one, has all these little ridges, it makes it easier to use. That's why I like it better. I mean, not just because it's stronger, but it comes off easier. When you lift this off the page, they're perforated, I guess is what you call them. They're perforated. Like, you know, stamps, you know, perforated. So you have little splits. So that's why they come off the page so easily. But then when you look at this one, now let's turn it this way. Look at that one. There's not really many ridges. There's tiny ridges, but they're oozing together. They're not really easily, they don't come apart very easily, these ridges. And so that's the Stampin', so that color are those two lines. These two lines are the Stampin' Seal. So that's what the difference is. And again, either one's going to work for card bases, so you could save your money and get this for card bases. But for boxes, definitely this. Okay, so which do I like better? Absolutely, 100% the Stampin' Seal. I'm going to spend my money. I'm going to get the Stampin' Seal from now on. I'm mostly just going to buy Stampin' Seal. Just because I didn't really care that it even cost a little more. Just because I never, ever had to do this. I don't really have to do this little thing with my finger, ever, to get it going, ever. But the good news is nothing got caught up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the card now. Nothing got all caught up in my, you know, none of these got unraveled or none of them had any problems like that. Sometimes in the past I've had, with other types of adhesives, I've had problems unraveling and things like that, but not with this one. And I think the way they like, let's see, this, I'm seeing how this leaf goes. Yeah, they put the leaf upwards. Anyway, I'm just kind of going by this card on the picture. All I'm doing is doing the bases now. I don't know how I'm going to design the cards yet, because really this kit has a lot of sympathy and get well and kind of depressing topics. You know, get well soon, sympathy. It's good, but I just want to make some of these into thank you cards or something a little more cheerful. There is one about thanks for being a friend, but anyway, my opinion. So I don't know how I'm going to design these cards yet. I might have to dig into some other stamp sets because the sentiments are pretty cool, but I just can't make so many get well and sympathy cards. I don't have that many to send. All right, so let's talk about the logistics of this, or let's talk about this catalog and this Stampin' Seal and what you can get and what it costs and all that. And I don't remember myself, so we're going to open it up. My link to my store is in the description of this video. I know I put a bookmark here. Here's my bookmark. Whale of a Time, Designer Series paper. Here we go. This is the Stampin' Seal Plus page 162 of our annual catalog. Okay, so they have it. Actually, they even have a picture of sort of those perforations even in the catalog, so that's kind of cool. So number 6 and 7. So down here, number 6, it's new. It says Stampin' Seal Instabond Permanent Adhesive, holds cardstock and ribbon, acid-free, 16.4 yards. All right, $8. Okay, so that's $8. But you only need to get that once. You only need to get this little pack, this little plastic thing once, $8. Then the refill is only $5.50. Okay, so there we go. So there, and then this one says Stampin' Seal Plus, and it says Instant Bond Permanent Adhesive Strong Seal, adheres 3D projects and heavier layers, security, which I already figured out. And I figured that out without even reading this. I totally figured out that this one does a better job holding 3D projects. That's your Seal Plus. And 3D projects, it's still the same, 16.4 yards. And it is, again, acid-free, so it's $12 plus $8 for the refill. I think it's worth it if you're doing boxes and just the hassle. I think it's worth it for the time you save. You'll never have problems. And, I mean, if you can afford both, then, you know, that's great. But if you can only afford one, get the Seal Plus. It's totally worth it, worth the extra time. It's like when you use our trimmer and it's like cuts through paper like butter. It's the same kind of concept. This thing is the best adhesive ever because it's so easy to use. Whereas this one, you're like, well, this one, you could get a little bit of a frustration level where you're like, why? I could have just kept using like this one, you know. So this one, I'm glad I got it because, like I said, I had to try them out. I'm very curious. But if I had to only get one, I'd get the Stampin' Seal Plus. All right, so let's see if there's any questions or comments in there that I may have missed. And I'm glad you can see the difference, Barbara. And I'm glad, Jan, you agree with me, and Linda, and that you got to actually see that. So I will be, I'll keep working on these. And you always have to consider, your cost for things when you're making a lot of crafts. And so you could, if you wanted to, I don't think you need 4 rows of adhesive. That's just me. That's personally me. I don't want little things to come up on the corners. You could get away with 2 rows of adhesive. Okay, but I do not recommend glue because glue gets lumpy and you get lumps in your paper. So I would say definitely use rolling adhesive. There's a sympathy sentiment. And get well soon. And there's one more. Something about being a friend. Oh yeah, for a kind and thoughtful friend. Not little, I need it to be a little more cheerful though. So I'm trying to find another stamp that I can use with some thank yous that'll fit in these beautiful, beautifully die cut circles like this. Because they gave me about 8 of these circles and I'm thinking I can't make 8 get well cards. I don't know that many sick people, even in the times we're in. But anyway, let's not digress. Let's stay on a happy note and end with that. But thank you all for popping on and checking this out. And I hope I gave you some information you can use to make an informed decision about your adhesives, Stampin' Up! Adhesives. That's all for now. This is the Papered Chef.